Good morning, everyone. All right, so yeah, I see a few people talking about AMRN. Pretty decent gap here from 299 all the way to 1150. Crazy move here. I'm curious to see what the news is on AMRN. Let's see. We also have ASNA gapping up some. Second favorite is probably XON though. It's gapping up from 1415 to 1650. We also have P for Pandora, gapping up from 909 to 965. Went all the way up to 11, but came right back down, which is pretty typical. This is kind of a trade idea I've been looking at. Most of the time, when a stock gaps up like this, it ends up coming down some, and so shorting it, around after this big gap up moves seems like a profitable thing to do in pre-market, and so that's something I'm kind of looking at here. But I haven't back tested it. It's really just a thesis at this point. So we'll see what happens there. Looking at ASNA, like I said, gapping up from 422 to 460. Not a bad percentage move here. And also watching AZRX. That one's not tradable, but all four of these are tradable this morning, which is good to see. Also watching EPZM, gapping up from 1025 to 1210. Tilray, TLRY, Cannabis Stock, NIO. Gapping down some, gonna watch that one. CRON, NVCN, TRVG, NBEV, NEPT. So watching a decent amount here. Let me catch back up on the chat. Yeah, sorry guys, sorry. There you go. Appreciate that, live gains. Yeah, I would have just kept going without doing it. All right, so like I said, watching AMRN here. Look at this huge gap from 299 to 1150. Pandora 909 to 965, ASNA from 422 to 460, AXON from 1450 to 1645. These two are my main watches, AMRN and XON. I think AMRN is most likely going to come back down some today. The problem is it has a huge range on it at this point. I mean, this thing's gapping up 400%, 350%, and so just a crazy move here for AMRN. Pandora looks interesting as well in XON, so I got a few options today, and all of these four are tradable, which is good to see. I'm watching a few other ones though. There's EPZM. I don't think this one's tradable, but let me check. Oh yeah, no, this one is tradable. Gapping up from 1025 to 1225. Need some more volume though for this one. AZRX, I know this one's not tradable, but AZRX gapping up from 265 to 330. Really low volume previously, and so it's easy to see why it wasn't tradable today. But it looks okay. It's gapping up some. Also watching TLRY, which has kind of been the biggest stock in the market in the last few weeks. This one came all the way back down to 104. And, this is like I was saying the other day. I had a few people that disagreed with me, which is okay. Somebody's always wrong and somebody's always right in the market. And I can't pretend like I'm always right either. But this was one of my kind of theses last week, was that these cannabis stocks were not going to be able to hold at these levels. I thought especially TLRY, it was just up so much from that point. And I know the revenue and the earnings were good. And I know it has about the same market cap as Chipotle. But I just didn't think for a cannabis stock to be going up this much when cannabis isn't even legal yet in Canada. I think that, my thesis was that it was going to come back down, and it very much did so, from 300 down to 101. And so I also had another thesis, though, at the same time, that was buying an options thesis, where it was like, I think I said I could buy call options, not on TLRY. I think my plan was on CRON, and try to ride it up for some of that hype that it might get closer to the October 17th, October 18th date in Canada. And so that one wouldn't have worked out. So I was right one and I was wrong one with these cannabis stock theses last week. But yeah, watching NBEV as well. This one was a crazy mover last week too. It ended up coming all the way back down from the 10s. Very obvious to see it wasn't going to hold these levels as well. It wasn't tradable, unfortunately, on TEFs. And so, oh well, ASNA gapping up from 422 to 460 looks good. Sorry, I just glanced at the screen and looked at Scapion's question. He said, "Good morning. I have a question. How does the closing of a stock affect us? I'm holding shares of IZEA and they closed down. Someone answer, please." Yes. So it depends. I mean, is the stock still listed on the exchange? It all depends. It depends on a lot of different factors. If the company's closing down, if the stock got booted off the exchange, it just depends on the specific scenario you're in. Um, if you're long, it's not typically a great thing, you know, but I don't know. I don't know what stock it is. I don't know what closed down, and so you got to be a little bit more specific. But I'll do my best to help. Let me catch back up on the chat. Yeah, I'm drinking some coffee right now, John. But yeah, let me catch up in the chat. Good morning, Live Gains. What's up, brother? What's up, Art? Good morning. Draco Cornelius. Good morning. Patricia. Good morning. Missouri. Good morning. ASTC looks okay. It's not tradable for me, but it looks okay. It not necessarily because it's gapping up, obviously, but because it kind of just filled the move from Friday. Friday it pushed up a lot, and pre-market this morning it kind of filled some of that. I mean, it still might have some room down to 3, but it's just down so much. We'll see if it rebounds on the upside is what I would look for. Good morning, Rel. Yeah, Jono, I'm looking at AMRN. That's a crazy, crazy move. Yo, what's up, man? All right, hold on. All right, guys, we got Mitch. We got Mitch in here, so.
What's going on, everybody? It's Money Mondays.
All right.
I'm excited. It's going to be a fun day.
Dude,
let's do this.
Dude, look at AMRN, man. Yeah, man. AMRN going crazy, bro. Crazy move here.
Extension.
Yo, for sure, 100%. That's what I said. I think it's almost certainly going to go down. I mean, this is the stock market, and so nothing is ever 100%. But just in my opinion, at least, I think this thing's going to crash today. Not crash. I think it's going to fill some of that gap. Is really what I think it's going to do. The tricky thing with this one though is the range on it. I mean, it has such a huge range. I mean, I could effectively take like 20 shares and make like a few $100s if it does fill that gap, because I'm not trying to buy 100 shares of this one and be down $200 in 10 seconds. You know what I mean?
Now, one thing I will bring up is if you look in the daily chart, you go back to 2011. That's honestly the last time this stock did a move that is kind of similar to this. It gapped up from about $3.89 to about $5, then ran up to about $9.85. Then it did a gap. Then very next day, it came down a couple days, for a couple weeks. Then a month into that, it ran up again and gapped up all the way to $14.24, having a high of $20 here. So one of the key things is start kind of pulling important levels from that. So the two levels that I pulled from it already are $9.85 and $14.24.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Yeah, that $14.24 and that $9.85. That's kind of going to be the big range for our stock right now. If you kind of see, this stock did kind of get that ramp up in that area, did a little pullback, and then ramped through it. So what we're going to try to see is if it can hold these supports there of 1092. If not, I'll be looking for a bounce off of 985, guys. 985. It can come down all the way to there today. You do get this rapid extension here pre-market, and now it's kind of really weak at the 1250s. So let's see if it can hold these levels, attempt to get up there to $12 and reject again.
Yep.
That's what we'd be looking for. I'm going to look up the news for this stock. Of course, guys, we want to see what kind of catalyst is making this move. and then the volume. Always pay attention to volume, guys. See what happened when this stock got that kind of volume before. And if you see this stock has kind of slowly been on the grind for the last probably 4 years. And then right now is we're having this big momentum, guys. So it's definitely going to be probably this top stock watch today.
Yeah, for sure.
And on my side, I'm honestly thinking it might be a little crowded. I'm also looking at the weed stocks. They're starting to come down. I'm going to be definitely paying attention to them. You also got this stock that ran the other week, or last week. It's ALT. ALT.
Whoa.
Hold on. Somehow getting a call there.
But no.
Heard that?
Yeah. But no, I'm watching XON. XON. I'm watching XON gapping up from 1415 and 1640. Also, Mitch, look at P for Pandora, gapping up. It gapped up substantially more, and then it filled some of that gap already, so I don't like it as much, but it is gapping up some. A few other ones, ASNA, not the best volume. Going to look for a little bit more volume with this one. But then there's also AZRX. There's a few other ones, so not too shabby this morning. Also, 1 second, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that.
Also,
sure.
Something super exciting. So today's news is brought to you by Snaptrade. That's snaptrade.us. Something really cool that Snaptrade offered. So I've been kind of working with Snaptrade here. If you don't know what Snaptrade is, it's an awesome free tool for traders to take advantage of. Not only does it show you kind of all the different sectors and what moves are happening in the market, but it lets you look up the news on certain stocks. It has a free scanner, a discovery watch, top list. You can set price alerts. You can do a lot of really cool stuff with Snaptrade. It compares it with the overall market. It shows me when the different catalysts came out for certain stocks, historical prices, the news, the market cap. So a really awesome tool for traders to take advantage of. I've been talking with them. I told them the one thing they needed to add to make it really huge is a gap scanner in pre-market. And so they did just add a gap scanner to Snaptrade, and you can check it out here. And so, like I said, they just updated it and put in a gap scanner. So really cool feature that they just added. What I really like about it is that I can change the filters for this gap scanner, and so I can go from price $10 to $50, and check that out. And so yeah, it shows you all the different gappers here. We have LABD, BMA. Let's look at some of these. MFL. So go check them out. That's Snaptrade, snaptrade.us. I'm going to look at some of these to see if I can find anything decent. RIG. Yeah, RIG doesn't look bad either. Transocean. So check out RIG. Small gap, but I like this one maybe for a long setup. We'll see. All right, so let's look up the news on these stocks at this point. I'll go ahead and post the link to Snaptrade as well. Give me 1 second.
I think there's a reverse split on NVCN.
Yeah, that was I think that was last week, right?
Yeah, it's up there at $3 now, and this stock is just trash, man.
All right, hold on. Let me go through the chat real quick. Good morning, JJ, Glory, Lawrence, Tiny, Salty. Good morning, WL Valores, Daniel. Good morning, Lavish, Michael, John, Scapion. Oh wait, let me see if Scapion responded to it. Mitch might know more. Can't talk right now. Mitch might know more about this than I do. Let me find Scapion's comment. So this morning we had somebody ask us a question. Let me see if I can find it. I lost it. Let me find it. It's somewhere here. Good morning, Jonathan.
PRVCF. What is that? That's a long one.
Yeah, so somebody basically asked a question this morning about what happens if it closes. I can't find the question anymore. I don't know what happened to it. Oh well. GTXI. Yeah, a lot of people were talking about that one the other day. Oh, there it is. IZEA announces their public offering of common stock, and I saw a few more have done that. Oh. Oh, you're talking about IZEA Scapion. Oh, yeah, sorry, Live Gains. I'll post my watch list. Give me a second, bro. Good morning, Felix, Jesus, Eric, John, Jonathan, Jose. Good morning, Brian. SCS, big spike at the end. Yeah, I mean, this is one I'm keeping an eye on. It looks like it's a little bit higher float, actually, but it's still up a lot from Friday, and so I actually will watch this one. I forgot about this one. Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on it. I really wish Tefs would add NVEV. I mean, that's one of the ones that's been moving a lot. But I'm definitely going to add this. So, Tilray, TLRY, testing the $100 level. It might break under $100 level, get into the double digits. All right, so Cole, good morning. Keegan, Marsher, Casey Mack, what's up, man? Felix. All right, let me post my watch list. I got a few people asking me for it, so let me go ahead and post that. I feel like I'm missing something on here. I might as well add SCS. Alright, that's my watch list thus far. AVP, Tiny, or not Tiny, Insurance. Yeah, AVP had that. Wait. AVP needs more volume. Alright, so let me look up the news. Let's go. What's up, Corey? All right, first one I'm looking at is AMRN. I mean, I think that's the most obvious one to look at this morning. I've traded this one before. Mitch and I were talking about it. Alright, so this one had positive trial. Yeah, this one's up 286%. So yeah, the company stated that its cholesterol treatment met its primary endpoint of risk reduction and was also well tolerated. So positive data and positive trial results for AMRN. That's the catalyst. And that's a legit catalyst, but I mean, is it legit enough to make a gap up 300%? We'll see, you know. Next one I'm looking at is XON, which is Intrexon. So yeah, they announced advances in production of medical cannabis. They announced advances in the development of microbial platform for cannabinoid uses. That process utilizes microbes which have the potential to provide greater supply chain security. So interesting here. Kind of tough to tell whether this is like a puff piece or not, but it's definitely what I'm watching. Gonna look maybe down to 15, see if it fills some of this gap.
It's a good one. Live Gains is bringing up VKTX. I don't think that's a bad one to watch. We did get a huge gap up, and it hasn't filled the gap yet, but has been kind of these red candles with huge wicks. If we can get below one of these daily lows, we can get a multi-day breakdown.
Yeah, gonna look for it down to that $14 level is where.
Yeah, I would want to see it break 18, that 1806. $18, 1806 is what we want to see it break today. Show that real hard momentum down.
Yep. All right, so let's look up P at this point, Pandora, but yeah, I like VKTX as well.
Yeah, we can add that one to the watch list. Good call out, Live Gains.
Yep. All right, so Pandora. All right, so SiriusXM acquired Pandora. Wow. So SiriusXM acquired Pandora for $3.5 billion.
Finally.
Man.
You know how long they've been talking about that?
I've always been more of a Pandora guy. I've never really been much SiriusXM. I like to be able to change. I mean, I thought Pandora did it smart where they let you pick, they let you pick your artist and they show you like similar songs and music as opposed to picking your genre and just playing songs in that genre. Because I think genre can get kind of vague. And whenever you pick like a song you like, and it shows you similar songs, I think that's a better way to go about it. But now they're the same company, so interesting. Pandora gapping up some from that too. It didn't gap up that much. It filled some of the gap on the way down. But curious, that's what's going on with Pandora. ASNA, another one I'm looking at, gapping up from 422 to 443. Not a huge gap and low volume, so going to be careful with this one. Earnings are supposed to come out for ASNA on the 24th. That's today. So yeah, I guess earnings coming out is what making that one move. Moving on though to AZRX. You can see AZRX here gapping up from 265 to 340. It's not tradable on TAFs, unfortunately, but it looks interesting. Let's look up to see the news on this one. So they announced positive outcome with their bio drug, which is showing significant efficacy in phase 2. So positive results for AZRX for this bio drug, and it's gapping up some. Really low volume previously, and I can't trade it, but it looks interesting. We'll see what happens with it. Also looking at EPZM. Very small gap. Not a small gap, actually a large gap, but very small volume, very low volume. So let's see what this one's doing. All right, so the FDA lifted its hold on the trial enrollments. So yeah, the company stated the FDA lifted their hold on the enrolling of new patients in trials for this company. The FDA put the hold on initially after a reported case of T-cell lymphoma in their pediatric study. And so FDA lifted their hold for EPZM. We'll see where this one goes. I still think it may be a little extended on the upside. Definitely going to watch this one. Another one I'm watching, obviously, is TLRY, Tilray. We'll see where this one goes. Not necessarily wanting to trade and jump in this one. I think this one's been a little overcrowded. but interesting. It was testing 100. Now it went as low as 98.50. We'll see where that one goes as well. And that's about it this morning. That's about all I'm watching. I'm keeping an eye on a few other ones like NBEV, the other cannabis-related stocks.
One of the big things I'll tell you guys is for stocks like AMRN and Cron, you're going to see a lot of volume going through the time and sales. Don't get manipulated by just going off of the color of volume that's going on there. This is one thing to learn from the time and sales guys is adjust. So understand that when there's a lot of volume, you got to stop paying attention to the little volume. Little volume being like, especially those 100 shares that you see go through 15, 30, anything like that, you kind of don't even want to pay attention to them. They're not affecting the stock because there's such small orders that it's just a accumulation of volume that you're seeing. You're seeing the algorithmic volume come in there, and those are computers trading. What you want to more pay attention to is the big sellers like 10,000, 3,000, 2,000 and above. Those are really the sellers and buyers that you're trying to look out for.
Sorry, I got a text message. NLST is another one. I can't trade it, unfortunately, but it looks decent. It's a penny stock. It's under $1. It's at 60 cents now. Somebody mentioned this one in the chat, and it's gapping up from 60. Actually, it's gapping down, technically. It looks like it's gapping up, but it's actually gapping down. Can't trade it, unfortunately. I'll look at it on Robinhood, maybe. And I think Pandora is actually starting to drop. I would have preferred it to wait, honestly. I wouldn't mind Pandora for a short if it was at 10. But since it's already down to 960, I mean, it may have some room to fill the gap from, let's look. Let's look at the 5 minute. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't have that much room. 950 now. I don't like Pandora for that reason. Gotta see what it does. Any news? NBEV, OGEN, OCST. Yeah, OGEN gapping up some. Yeah, look at OGEN, Mitch. I mean, it's not tradable, which is to be expected because it's under $1. But it is running up some. So yeah, I watched this one on Robinhood. But yeah, look at OGEN. It's up from 72 cents to 98. Also gonna watch NIO again. NIO faded off the VWAP many times. Friday. Man, there goes XON. I really wish some of these would just hold their gains for once. They start to sell off so early in pre-market that it makes it tough, to
battle them at that price.
Right, man. It's frustrating. It's like this is one of the main ones I was looking at, and now it's all the way back down to 16. And it's like it's not that I'm against trading AMRN. It's just that, like you said, it may be overcrowded. This thing's gapping up 300%. Regardless, it's going to move a big in a certain direction. I just don't want to get caught in a halted stock for AMRN. You know what I mean? And so I really wish some of these stocks would just hold their gains. Yeah, Glory, that's the VWAP. That's the volume-weighted average price. NBEV. But yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, I'm looking at a few other ones. There's lots of little options today, but, XON was my favorite for a short, at least. I think AMRN is definitely going to come back down, at least in my opinion. But like I just said, I think it may be a little overcrowded. Yeah, there's not really any recent news from today out on NBEV. I think this one a lot of times is just following the overall cannabis market. Like if you look at NBEV and then look at TLRY, they look very similar. And so I think it's just following the overall cannabis market. But yeah, look at OGEN. Man, this one's going crazy. up to over $1. It's at 104 now. No, I haven't commented on IGC yet. I mean, most of these, like, I kind of group, really, I kind of look at all these cannabis stocks the same. Of course, they make different moves. Like, IGC is a little bit different than the other ones. But, you know, when I look at IGC, NBEV, TLRY, CRON, CRON, what's the other one? CGC. You know, they're all very, very similar. They're in the same sector, and so they're kind of following each other. I can't trade this one either. Glory. So my basic strategy, Mitch and I's basic strategy is we essentially look for overextended stocks, and we trade a strategy called the VWAP fade. So we essentially look for a big gap or an overextended stock, and then wait for a wash at the open and a pullback to the VWAP, entering right around the VWAP, and then setting the low of the day as our reward. The next previous support or resistance level above is our risk. All right, guys, we got about 7 minutes.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
2 seconds.
ACST. Yeah, I think I saw ACST. It's not tradable, though. ACST looks good. It's not tradable, though. But, I mean, it's a little bit cheap for me to be doing anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I'm watching Pandora. A lot of these, I'm just, you know, VKTX, XON, AMRN are my 3 favorites. Mitch trades long a little bit more than I do. And, I mean, I trade on Robinhood as well. And so I trade some longs, but mostly shorts, especially on TEFs, which is this broker right here. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a bounce. So I'm watching I'm watching XON down to this $15 level. See if it can fill some of that gap at least. You know, I think it's got some room. If it drops under 16, I don't like it as much, obviously, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. IGC bounce over 350. Yeah, I mean, I like it for a bounce play more than a short play, just because I think it had such a red day. In pre-market and after hours. You know, I think the cannabis stocks are going to bounce today. Yeah, I mean, Corvettes, yeah, it went as low as 98.50. All right, Pandora bouncing a little bit here. I still think it realistically only has some room down to 950. And this was an acquisition. NSPR. It's just not my style. I usually don't trade stocks, especially under 50 cents, just because I'm more of a short bias trader. And this one, you know, I don't think it has that much room. I mean, there's a finite amount of room with these cheaper stocks on the downside, so it's just not my style. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes. Yeah, Insomniac, I think it's gonna, you know, I'm more long biased with these cannabis stocks now, just because they've dropped so much in the last 2 days. You know, when they drop 60%. in 2 days. It's a pretty significant drop. Like I said, I'm a little bit more long biased. We'll see where they go, though. You never really know in the stock market, but, I think it's most likely going to bounce, but we'll see.
All right, guys, I'm here. I'm looking at AMRN. Let's see what's going to happen, guys.
We got 3 minutes.
9:27. Yep. This is when you guys want to start getting down to exactly what you want to trade. Start visualizing your trade. Start getting ready. I can't stress how important it is to visualize your trade. I know it may sound like it's not the grandest of things, but if you close your eyes and see the trade before it happens, when you actually go to make the execution, you're going to have a lot less hesitation if that's what you're expecting.
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to definitely watch AMRN out the open. I think it's going to slam through 11 right here. But, of course, we don't take that just set slam through the support. That's not what we want to do. We want to start seeing this stock slingshot down to the next support level. There it goes through the 11s, guys, and taken down. You see, this is why, pre-market, sometimes stocks just start getting nailed there, guys.
Yeah.
And you see it. It went to that 11. It looked interesting. Boom, they nailed on it. Now what we're going to be watching is this. I had this 1045. Let's see exactly what it is right here. 1049. I'd look for that bounce off of 1049, 1050. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully this bounce can get in there as the open comes and get up there to 11. But you see, guys, where does this stock go to? From a support to the next support level, guys. That's why we always stress so much on important levels. If you don't understand the important levels of a stock, you shouldn't be trading it at all.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I mean, it's going to be tough to trade, but really at this point, I'm looking at where the VWAP is in relation to where it possibly could open. I was looking at XON, but the VWAP's just too much above it at this point, and so it's probably not going to fade off of it. Looking at VKTX, may have to give it a little bit of time. I got to stay selective. Just because I want to see the VWAP right around where it opens, or at least preferably actually under where it opens, and I don't see that too much today. Yeah,
nailed through that support.
1040s. There's the big crash there.
All right, so this is the big thing to pay attention to, guys, here, is start finding where the big sellers are, not the little ones. I got big sellers in the 1115 and 1108s. There was 30,000 shares that went through there.
There's the bell.
Also 62,000 shares in the 60s and 70s, guys. 60s and 70s. So 60s, 70s, and 11 is what we're looking for. Those are big price points where the stock got some support on the downside.
The spread's actually pretty close for this one, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. It's
Look at
pretty
that
good.
spread. It's like a 1 cent spread on a crazy move like that. I'm surprised it's not like 30 cents right now. Interesting. So watching that one, keeping an eye on Pandora, VKTX, XON doesn't look like it has good volume, but we'll see. There's a wash on AMRN, which was to be expected. The VWAP's just like $1 above it though at this point.
Yeah, it just might get washed through this. Head down to that $9. It's ridiculous to do that 11 point if we could have got short in pre-market.
Yeah.
I definitely liked it when it bounced there at 1140 off of 1150, but that's pre-market. You can't take a trade there.
Yeah.
All right. Any other stock you've seen right off the back?
I'm looking at VKTX here. Also, I mean, there's a few I'm looking at. None are really setting up Gotta look for the VWAP to drop down a little bit more on some of these. Looking at VKTX, at this point AMRN's it's like $1 away from the VWAP, so I'm probably not gonna trade that one. Looks a little overcrowded, too much under the VWAP, too much momentum to head back up. I think back up to the $11 level, and so I mean I'm keeping an eye on it, but we'll see. Just waiting for good setups. If I don't see good setups, I'm just not gonna trade it.
Understand that completely.
What's up, James?
All right, guys. Watch out for the ramp here on AMRN. It's looking like it's doing that really strong red to green here. So be careful if you are in it short. I would be careful here as it approaches 11. Let's see what happens. It could just rip through 11, get right back up there.
Oh, NEPT is another one I'm watching. NEPT, but it's low volume at this point. All right, so XON is pushing back up to the 1640s. And like I said, AMRN looked like it could bounce up to 11, and that's exactly what it's doing. What's up, Track Racer?
11 there.
What's up, brother? Good morning, man. But yeah, what's up, James? James, I did okay last week. It was still a green week, but I had 3 profitable days, 2 losing days last week. It was actually the first week in a month and a half where I've had 2 losing days, and specifically 2 losing days in a row. And so, gonna try to do a little bit better this week. NEPT washing out under the VWAP, very tight range. First though. I mean, I don't see anything really setting up for it right now. I mean, XON is right up to the VWAP area, but it looks like more of a long, not a long setup necessarily, but a long move.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw AMRN get to that 97, I had an order filled out for 95, but it was going to be for 50 shares, looking to add some into that 1125 near the VWAP. But I didn't take it just because I started measuring out risk to reward there, guys, and it looked like about 30-cent risk for a potential 50-cent gain there. And it was kind of iffy. I didn't know if I wanted to risk that much that early here, guys. So held down there on that. Didn't want to take it, even though I saw the resistance there, guys. I've clearly stated before in pre-market that 1097, when it broke through that first breakthrough, guess what? It went right back to that level, guys. That's why I always say important levels, guys.
XON,
if you can understand that, you can trade with it.
XON doesn't look that bad here. We'll see. I mean, it just spiked up. I don't know. Not really seeing too many. I mean, Pandora, maybe. Although Pandora is so close to the high of the day, for that reason, I don't trust it.
Watching this OGen, guys. It's actually holding pretty good on the long side there, guys.
It's not tradable.
That's the life. Gotta let it go.
Pandora, right around the VWAP, but it's also right around the high of the day. And XON running up some. Just gonna wait now. Maybe NIO. If it pulls all the way back to 825, looks okay.
All right, guys. VKTX is getting some momentum on the long side, guys. I'm watching this stock as it approaches 19 here, guys. Looks like it's gonna try to run through 19s. I can't grab it here because it's way too extended. So I'm waiting for a pullback, guys. Waiting for a pullback. Trying to measure out this BKTX, see if this stock is setting up to go long here. Got to pull the important levels from the history and see what happens here at 19, guys.
XBIO running up.
Prawn getting to the prior support. Let's see if it holds resistance there at 1220s. There's this pullback for VKTX. I see pullback entry being 57 off of 40. That's 17-cent risk for potential 40 cents on the gain there, guys.
I'm looking at NIO here.
AMRN is all the way back to the VWAP there.
If NIO can get up to 820s or back up to that 818 level, I like it a little bit more. But it might have already faded. Yeah, it might be a little bit too late for NIO. I do like the risk to reward. If it gets up to 820, you can set your risk at 825, 826, but it's already washed back down, unfortunately. Here's Pandora. Now, Pandora kind of looks like one of the VWAP bounce setups that we were talking about. Overextended on the downside, breaks over the VWAP, bounces off of it at 975. So that kind of looks like the VWAP bounce setup we were talking about. Doesn't look bad. Same thing with kind of VKTX here if it pulls back to the level where it's at now, but it doesn't look bad.
All right, AMRN there, guys. We missed a little bit of a VWAP fade there, guys. I'm looking to see if this can get back up to VWAP and fade again. I think there was an entry point there that we definitely had the risk to reward that was not bad. 11.10s to 11.15 there. You could have risk off of 11.38. Let's see if this attempts to get back there to 11.25 but fails.
VKTX. Maybe a VWAP bounce.
Yeah, I saw that potential entry, guys. At 57, it went to 59 there. Didn't get it.
Yeah.
I missed it. I looked up at AMRN. That one annoys me, man. I wanted to grab that one long. It's setting up to break through 19. You could have been. Said take profits up here at 18.90.
Yep.
It was a great risk to reward there.
I'm looking at NIO. NIO looks good, risk to reward as well. If you enter around 818.
Boom. You could take half profit right there at 91s and look for the breakout. Yeah. We had that one on VKTX.
I mean, I'm just looking for short setups. It looks like a good long setup, but there it goes. Yeah, I mean, it's the VWAP bounce setup that we talk about, that, you know, we kind of preach about, and it did it well. You know, the big thing with this one is that it broke over the VWAP and then bounced right here.
Yeah, I like the using the 9 EMA on this one. That's why I have my 9. On longs, I definitely think it's a good support to use off of.
All right, I'm going to jump in with 100 shares here on NIO. Risk level is 825.
I hope somebody got that VKTX.
Look at AMRN now.
I know. We missed the VWAP fade there.
I mean, it wasn't really a VWAP fade, I wouldn't say, just because it was a bullish trend and it just got rejected at the VWAP, you know.
I mean, that's a fade. It's just a big one. It's just a big one, bro.
I just want to see a bearish trend at the open. That was more of a bearish trend in pre-market, you know. Alright, so I'm in NIO here. Looking for a rejection down here. Risk is 825. It's definitely not an A+ setup, and I may be chasing it a little bit, but I don't see anything else I like right now in this market. Goes back to 19s on NIO. 20. Got to be careful here. There's 20s. 22 getting closer. There's 22s. $24s. Got to give myself a little bit tighter risk here. There goes VKTX, maybe pulling back to the VWAP again.
Yeah, I don't like it as much now as I did before. It has a lot of resistance up there in 1940.
Yeah, I'm watching NIO. I'm probably going to get out here soon if it ends up cracking 825s. Like I said, this definitely isn't an A+ setup. I consider it a B setup. Hey, appreciate the $2 dono, Drac Cornelius. Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support, man. There goes AMRN, though. Washing out. But yeah, appreciate the $2 dono, man. Means a lot, brother. Appreciate the support. All right. It's kind of the big level here for NIO. Obviously like to see a wash here, but I mean, if it pushes up, it's a small loss. It's like an $11 loss, 10 cents with 100 shares. Hey, appreciate it, Drake Cornelius. Hey, glad you find value in our content, man.
Staying focused, guys, just looking around, looking for setups, not trying to overextend myself and get into something or force something. I had 2 misses today. I definitely think BKTX was a good attempt earlier. Now I'm looking at it on the actually the downside to see if it's going to hold these 19s here or not. But definitely AMRN did look well there at the VWAP. I just missed it. Didn't take the risk off of 38, 39. Wasn't going to be a big share position, but definitely could have made us the gains that we needed today. Um, I don't think it's a bad setup. It wasn't a bad attempt there. Just didn't attack it there at the support there from the pre-market, and we could have risked right off of that.
Here we go. There's a drop down to 817s on the NIO. There we go, 815s. Let's see if it continues to fade here. I want to see it continue to fall. Obviously, it's down to 16s. It has to break under here and hold, though. Specifically 14. Now you guys can see why I set this 25 point as my risk. It's because they went right up to that 25 level. And this is also why I set mental stops. Alright, it's down to 14. Let's see a low of the day crack here is really what I want to see. Probably could have used a little bit larger sizing with this one, but hey. It was a B- setup. Yeah, mine's definitely running kind of weird, Salty. Alright, we got down to 12, 11, 10, 9. Alright, so let's see a little bit bigger crack here for NIO. It faded off the VWAP nicely. It cracked over the VWAP. It wasn't, like I said, it was a B- setup. It wasn't a A+ setup at all. Don't mind holding it a little bit longer since I'm using smaller sizing with a smaller range stock. Just gonna see if it can keep going here. Yeah, I mean, the good news is that I have a very, very obvious risk level at this point in NIO. And so that's kind of something that I got to get used to looking at is my risk level. And when it goes up and gets rejected right there, it gives me a very obvious risk point. And so I'm actually pretty comfortable in the trade. If it pushes up over that, I can get out for a small loss. If it washes out, I can just hold on to it. And I see I'm getting a lot of subs today. I appreciate the sub, Jeffrey, Mark. Appreciate it. I can't see the other one. But appreciate all the subs, guys. Appreciate it. Welcome. I day trade live on stream every weekday morning. I think Eric. Appreciate the sub, Eric. But yeah, appreciate the subs, guys. Welcome. But yeah, so look at Kron here. Kron maybe pulling back to the VWAP.
Yeah, maybe a VWAP bounce there.
But yeah, my thinkorswim seems to be lagging a little bit. I can always update it. So like if you don't know how to update your thinkorswim, you can go to applications, and if you go to system, you can set it at no delay, real time. And so I just changed the setting, so now there's no delay on my thinkorswim. And so if you don't know how to do that, like I said, you go to setup applications, or you go to setup. Let me see. You go to setup application settings, and then you go down to system, and you can change the quote speed. You know, in the level 2. A little bit of pullback on NIO. Like I said, though, I have a very obvious risk level here at 825. I'm thinking really about an add right here. I'd have to give myself a little bit tighter risk level. Yeah, I use Robinhood. You can see I actually have Robinhood up here. You know, it's a super small account though. Okay, so James updated us. James and John, hey, appreciate that update, guys. They said Thinkorswim had an update over the weekend. Many traders are having problems with it this morning. It is an issue that is being worked on as we speak. Okay, that's good to know. Hey, I appreciate the update, guys. Appreciate it. I really don't mind AMRN for like a little bear flag here. Look at VKTX for maybe a VWAP projection, although I don't think it has that much room, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm taking an eye on it for a VWAP projection right now, considering the options right here, considering the risk and the reward here.
Yeah. Yeah, see, TLRY bounce. That's why I said those are kind of setups that I should probably start taking more advantage of, is the little bounce plays. Like I said, I don't know if anybody heard me, but I thought TLRY and these cannabis stocks were going to bounce some today just because they had such bad red days. Anik, so you're basically talking about when you start up Thinkorswim, it has that installing updates. It never actually goes to the sign up screen, right? Yeah, I've had that problem before. The best thing I could tell you is just to reach out to them, is what I would do, you know?
Yeah, you can always delete it and then reinstall it. That should take away the issue for you. Didn't get up there to 19. I had an order out there at 19 for a while on VKTX. It's never getting filled.
NIO bouncing some here, 16s. Like I said, though, I didn't mind AMRN for a little bear flag there. Now it's back down to the 9s, 980s.
Yeah, I think that one's just a miss. You had to have gotten it up there at that VWAP, and then now you can be taking all types of risks down here.
Yep.
That's what you really need to do, guys. Understand that this stock gave us huge potential today. I'm kind of disappointed that me and John didn't tackle this stock, and I definitely will review and how to better approach a stock like this, because definitely I think this is a stock that we could have made some great gains on today, and it abided by our strategy. The only thing that it did differently was fade in right before the pre-market.
Yeah.
But if we watch the volume still agrees with our strategy.
Right.
So it's not a bad. The volume was on the down move. It wasn't on the move up.
I mean, the
lower,
biggest...
lower volume, lower volume, lower volume, and then right when it hit that BWAP, it got shorted hard there, guys. Volume increased and came right back down.
Yeah, I think it just, I think it faded in the pre-market session instead of at the open, and so that's kind of, it looked like a good fade if the open was 10 minutes earlier, you know what I mean? But since it faded in pre-market, it's just, I didn't like it as much,
Yeah, I think in the end it's just a matter of risk to reward. You got to understand that this is a stock that you can go in with a lower share size and try to get a higher risk to reward here, guys. So it's not a bad trade. You just have to learn how to adapt. It's not going to be your average, I risk 10 cents or 20 cents. It might be I'm going to risk 30 or 40 cents. I'm going to take 50 shares, but I'm going to look for a whole dollar move or above that. And then it's not that bad. If you actually see the range in this stock, it made a down move from 11 all the way down to 10. And so you had a dollar potential there. You can go ahead and risk up to 30 to 40 cents and still have a pretty good risk to reward.
Right. Look at Kron bouncing off the VWAP. I'm starting to see more VWAP bounces, honestly, in the market as opposed to fades. VKTX.
That's the market heating up.
Right. VKTX bouncing off of it. Kron bouncing off of it. What was the other one? Pandora bouncing off of it. I might have to start playing these VWAP bounces, man, on my big boy account. Holding NIO here, I'm kind of stuck on whether I feel good or bad about it. I got a set risk, which is always good, and a very obvious risk, but As with regard to the trend, I don't know. Pandora maybe fading off the VWAP. If you look at Pandora, not fading, rejecting off the VWAP. I don't know how much room it's actually going to have on the downside, but it looks like a fade or a rejection there. I'm short on NIO.
Think you're going to see a big bounce here on AMRN here. Big bounce. Yeah, it's got that. See it if it gets above that 10, it's going to get some momentum.
It's got that double bottom is what it's at now.
Yeah, the 5-minute chart shows me that it can bounce pretty high there, guys.
I'm watching NIO here. If it starts to push up here with any decent amount of volume, specifically if it breaks 21, I'm out. Maybe 22. Just don't want to get squeezed back up here. There's 23. I'm going to set my original stop at 25. Like I said, it's up to 24. It may push here. There's 25.
Most you're out.
25. It's got to break over 25. I'm out. It went down to 23 for a split second. It's fighting 25 at this point. Alright guys, I'm sorry about that. My internet just went out on me. Alright guys. Okay, so I think we're back. Hey, what's up, man? My internet crashed. I don't know what happened.
It crapped out on you.
Man. That's frustrating.
Without a doubt.
I mean, I'm still in the trade, and it's back up to 820. We'll see, though, here. I mean, it's now it's a double top. It needs to fade off the VWAP here. Hey, at least we're back. We got the viewers back, too, but man. Sorry about that, guys. My internet went down.
Yeah, just be careful here, John.
Yeah. I'm going to set a stop loss in this one at 827, just in case. Just to get me out if it does anything weird again. Corey says we would never leave you. Hey, we appreciate the support, bro. Look at Pandora. Look at that VWAP projection, though.
What's love got to do with it?
Well, I see that my new internet that I paid for 1,000 gigabytes or for 1,000 megabytes per second. I don't know if it's worth it at this point. No, no, I don't have it. Little worried though here. NIO kind of looks like a wedge on the upside. I don't want to get caught in a wedge. I got a stop set at 829 or 827 just in case. Preferably I'm going to get out if it breaks 825 though, but man, that made me nervous. It was right around that high of the day whenever it froze too. I was scared it was going to squeeze up right there, but it didn't. Lucky.
Hey guys, VKTX is back, guys. It's back up to the VWAP.
For 1,000 megabytes per second, Netron, it costs like $120 a month. Comcast. I mean, my internet speed's good. My upload speed is like 45. My download speed, like last time I ran it, it was like 970 megabytes per second, and so it's up there. I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to, but I don't like the fact that it just died on me. That's not cool.
20,000 shares went through there for you at 820 and 821.
On the downside?
On the bid.
Okay, good.
Yep.
No, that's on the upside.
Well, it doesn't mean that it's on the upside. It's the bid side. So it could have been someone slamming on the bid after it rejected from 22s. So that's the level that I'd be interested in now. If you see those 22s just getting slammed filled, I would be worried. But your 25 seems good to risk off of.
I mean, it double topped off at 25 already, but at this point it looks like a wedge. And so if anybody can see what I mean when I say wedge, triangle. It's a descending triangle. Or no, ascending triangle. So yeah, at this point I want to see it break under 817. Oh, 100%. It was super tense, man. You know, especially like when it died, it was up here at this high right here. It was at like 824 when it died. And so I'll put it like this. I wasn't comfortable, you know. It didn't make me happy, you know what I mean? It definitely wasn't a good thing. I definitely wasn't calm after the internet died. I mean, I wasn't freaking out, but I wasn't calm either. Luckily, it's just 100 shares. There we go. 819s. XON is back.
Yeah, I like that rejection for you. Doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I like that too. Let's see if it can crack here, though. This is the important level here. See if it breaks this triangle and heads down for me.
Let's see if you get a big shorter to knock it down here at 15. 15, if you see a big size go through there, that'll be your confirmation. You want to see the 15s just get smacked. There's 17s.
I usually don't set hard stops either, but I got a hard stop set at 827 just in case, man. My internet dies again. I'm safe. Somewhat safe. Yeah, but I don't think Tess has a phone app, Track Racer. That's what I was worried about. I don't think it has a phone app. I'm gonna have to start trading these VWAP bounces though. I've seen a lot of them today. XON, VKTX, Pandora.
Yep.
Cron, CRON.
Without a doubt.
So a lot of VWAP bounces into today's market. I'm going to start trading those most likely. OGEN, John. VWAP bounce. I mean, if this one didn't really bounce off the VWAP. I mean, at this point, it looks more like a fader, but I don't know. This is kind of out of my price range. It's a little bit too cheap for me to trade. You are a closet long trader. I don't know, man. I mean, I used to trade only long setups, if you guys remember. I think I'm inherently short biased though. Like when I look at a stock, I don't look to see whether it's going to keep pushing up. I look to see where it could fail. Yeah, they hold it on on theirs. I'm pretty sure, Mr. R-Wing. I'm pretty sure they hold it on their server. Like if I exit out of the trade and then log back in, the stop's still there. Or if I exit out of their platform and log back in, the stop's still there. Volume's kind of coming down for NIO, which makes me like it much less. But the triangle pattern's broken though, to a certain extent. Yeah, but I can't figure out how to log into it, Track Racer. I know, Adelie, I'm using 100 shares. Honestly, last week and the week before, I've been using bigger sizing. I'm only going to use bigger sizing if it's like an A+ setup, and NIO definitely was not an A+ setup. It gapped down some. And so, I mean, it's whenever a stock gaps down like this, I think it has momentum to push up. And so it definitely wasn't an A+ setup, and I'm only going to use the big sizing on good setups, which I haven't really seen that much lately. Like I haven't seen that many fades in the market as opposed to a month ago.
I'm keeping a close watch on VKTX, guys, and also CRON, and also NIO for John.
Yeah, I got you.
Still watching that stock.
I got you, Track Racer. So yeah, if anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet, I'm trading on TEFs, which is TradeNet's partnering broker. The way it works is that you pay for a package on TradeNet. In my case, I paid for the $500 intro package, and with that, they gave me $14,000 in buying power, and I have a $700 max loss. And so if my account goes under $13,300, they close my account down, and any profit over the original $14K they give me, there's a 70-30 split. And so for instance, if I bring my account up to $15K, I keep $700, they keep $300. Commissions are really cheap as well. They're 0.006 cents per share. And so really, really cheap commissions. There's a 150 minimum. And so if I'm using less than 250 shares, commissions are only $3 total for a round trip. All the way in and out is only $3 total. And so really cheap commissions. Like I said, if you go through my link, you can get the intro package for 20% off. And so instead of $500, you can get it for $399. And you'll effectively have $700 to lose. And so I think it's a pretty good deal. We do make a small commission from it, but if you want to help support this channel, you can go through our link, and we appreciate it if you do. And there's the link right there in the chat. I've always tried to be honest with me about it, though. The biggest flaw with TEFs is that some stocks are not tradable, and it's frustrating for sure. But most of the time, it's not too bad. Last week was pretty bad, actually, but most of the time, it's not nearly as bad. Usually, out of my 10 watch lists or 10 stock watch list, about 3 of them are not tradable. So usually 70% of my watch list is tradable, and so it's usually not that bad. But like I said, there's the link if you go through our be quiet insurance, man. Y'all can listen. Y'all can yell at me as much as y'all want about small sizing, and I won't block you.
Hey, there's your NIO breakdown. Let's see if you get the big volume. There's that 815. Remember I told you?
Yep, there you go.
Look at that. Look at that volume there, guys. 10,000 shares, 2,000 shares, 2,000 shares. Where did it go in? First one, 815, 813, 813. Yeah. That's how you trade, bud. That's how you get your confirmation. And now you only are looking at your targets. What is your target? Where's your first profit going to be? Where your second profit's going to be?
Right, for sure. And my price target, first one is probably at 804. But it's 100 shares, and so I don't know. We'll see if I take 50 there or not.
All right. I'm looking for a bounce back that doesn't get back above 820, and I could get into this stock.
Yeah, if it bounces back, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. If it bounces back to the VWAP, I'm not necessarily opposed to. All right, have a good one, DSP. Have a good day, brother. But no, so especially if you're an OG like Adley or Insurance, I'm not going to block you guys if you guys get mad at me for using small share size. Honestly, I'd prefer you guys to get mad at me for using small share size. It actually, helps. The only time I dislike somebody is if they only say negative stuff. You know what I mean? Like if they're not in here every day and they just kind of come in and they just start being super negative and critical, that's when I kind of have a problem with it. But if it's constructive criticism and you're an OG in the chat, I'm not going to block you, If anything, I actually appreciate the. Kind of the constructive criticism in some aspects of it.
All right, watching VKTX here, guys, very closely, and also NIO. Cron, if it rejects 1240 here, that's when I'll start paying attention for that.
There you go, Jacob. That's what I like to hear, brother. You see what Jacob did? He said, John, stop being a baby girl and use larger sizing. That's what I like to see, man. Hey, will do, Jacob. Lil Pearl, honestly, if you guys have been watching the stream for a few months, I did go up in sizing. Like last week or the week before, I've been using 2 300 shares. It's just, like I said, whenever it's not a great setup, like NIO, I definitely wouldn't consider an A setup. I'd consider it like a B-, just because it's gapping down some. The volume's not that great. And so whenever it's an A+ setup, I really don't mind using really big share sizing. Not big share sizing, but I don't mind using 200 or 300 shares. It's when it's not a great setup, whenever it's like a B- setup like this, that's when I'm just staying the safe route and using 100 shares. Wait, Adelie, I thought you were a girl. Not saying anything yes or no. I thought Adelie was a female. Oh. I guess not. Not really. I'm not trying to be mean or criticize or anything. I just thought I thought he said that. Never mind. I just thought the 3 girls we had in the chat were Tiny, NYC, and Adelie, but maybe I was wrong. And I'm really not trying to joke or anything like that. I legitimately thought you were. It was a female. How much do I normally put in the people of the book? I usually go with 300-400 shares if the stock's under 10. If the stock's over 10, I usually go with like 50, 100, depending on how expensive the stock is. Oh, addedly. Okay, I see now. You're right, Jacob. That was my problem. Oh, my bad, man.
There's Cron gonna try these 1240s now, guys.
Yeah, I'm watching that. It's a triangle right there in Cron as well.
Yeah, so it needs to try those 1240s. Rejecting those would bring it back down. VKTX is trying these 77s and kind of doing the same thing. If it curves and gets above here, above 88s, it actually looks like it could set up long. But you see, what does it do, guys? It rejects those 77s, gets hit hard. And now I'm looking at it on the opposite way. I want to see if there's any big shorters going to add into this, or if that was a fake out on the short side and they're going to scoop it up right here and it's going to get back above these 86s.
The chat's going crazy now that I thought addedly was a girl. My bad, man. I legitimately did, honestly, And I thought, I mean, he's asked about playing Fortnite together before, and so I didn't know, man. My wife plays Halo with me. I got the coolest wife, man. She legitimately plays Halo with me. She plays Call of Duty with me. You know what I mean? She curses people out on Xbox, and so I got the coolest wife. But hey, my mistake, addedly. But yeah, look at XON, man. That thing just ran up too. Yeah, I mean, the people of the book, 300 shares is what I think is like reasonable. I think it's a reasonable share size to take with the price of the stocks I'm trading. 300 shares, my targeted gain is like $60, $70. I think that's reasonable.
Here comes the volume. Look at that, 11,000 shares there.
What, on NIO?
Yep, at 810.
Hey, let's see a wash here.
There you go, another ad there, 10,000 shares there. So 20,000 shares going through there at 810.
Vapor John. All right, I got you, John. Honestly, the games I play on Xbox, the game I probably play the most is UFC 3. Like, I play UFC 3 online a lot. That's like my favorite game. I also play Halo. Lately, I've been playing Halo 4 and Halo Reach. I don't really like Halo 5. My daughter plays Fortnite. And I play PUBG more than Fortnite. I like PUBG a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to call Comcast. I don't know what happened with my internet, you know? Like, my internet just decided to just to go out real quick and then just start up. Everything's running fine now. Weird. Yeah, I'm watching XON. I think XON, the level to really watch is this 1884 level right here. This 1884, 1890 level, which is the high of pre-market, that's really the level I'm watching for XON. To see if it gets rejected or to see if it breaks over that and then holds that area as support is really kind of what I'm looking at for XON. Yeah, that's what they always tell me to do. Like, anytime I have a problem, they're like, oh, maybe it's your modem. The thing is, though, is that I just got this new modem last week. It's a brand new modem, because they had to upgrade my modem to handle the 1,000 megabytes per second internet, the gigabit internet that I paid for. And so, it's not the modem. It's just, I think it's just, I don't know, they just had a problem.
All right, guys. I want to see CGC not get over 51 there. If it bounces here, not get over 51. I think the wheat stocks are about to get hit hard, guys. Watch this. I really think they're about to get hit hard.
Yeah, the only problem I really have with the VWAP bounce setup is that whenever it fails, it typically fails pretty hard. There's 13s, 14s on NIO.
Little bounce. Yeah, that's what happens when John's going through the classic stage of not taking enough size and holding a trade because of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only in with at 813, and so regardless, I never really got much room in it anyway.
Yeah, right. It was the share size holding you down.
All right, here's all those big share sizes getting squeezed out now is what's going on. And so this is where I got to be careful.
Yep.
We'll see if we get a little rejection here, though, off of the VWAP.
Guys, I'm watching VKTX, guys. It's been rejecting to just go bear there a lot consistently. I think if it can get back above these 80s, it can set up to go long here.
Look at that rejection on NIO, though, on that bounce.
You got an ad there, bro. Pay attention to that time in sales, bro. Let them know. Do you see that size that went through there?
Yep. You got to show me.
What's the size? That's 195,000 shares there at 811.
Regardless of what position I'm in, that's a scary position.
Yep. Just because it can either get. I always tell you guys, pay attention to the time in sales. It definitely is gonna react because of that order now. So now you just have to watch out. So what I would do is I would just hold comfortably at that 820. I wouldn't hold up to the next resistance, but that's up to you. You can decide that right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, that big position is scary just because it could squeeze me out really, really hard. And so you got to be careful with it. I mean, it still looks bearish, but that 810 level needs to crack. Yeah, like I said, I thought TLRY and all these cannabis stocks were ready for a bounce today just because they were down so much. And, you know, it's about like it's like I made a video a week ago. The strategies I use mostly revolve around overextension in one direction. You know what I mean? With TLRY having a really bad red day in the last day, I thought it was overextended on the downside. I didn't spill my beer. I just got a new phone. I got a Note 9, and I love this phone, man. It's a really cool phone.
Hey, I just got the same one.
What? Hey, dude, this thing is gangster, man. I love this phone.
Hey, it's gonna help us out.
Right. Hey, I like the pen, man. I've been playing around with it for a while.
Oh, the pen.
The pen is legit.
It's great.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I just upgraded Friday last week.
All right, guys. I'm seeing VKTX here, guys. I'm gonna see what happens here at the 70s. If it gets bought up. What's going to happen here at the 78s?
ALEF.
It's approaching that bottom pretty hard there, guys. I want to see if it can bounce here.
Mr. Eric mentioned this one. Look at ALEAF. It's an OTC stock, so I can't trade it. But
nice rejection for you, brother.
Oh, I know.
Now you got a new level to hold off of.
Right, exactly. That 818 level.
Yep. And if you want, I would look for any ad underneath that level.
I got the Note 9. Oh, I know, John. I know that. I noticed that, man. It's really cool. You can use the pen as a remote for the camera on the Note 9. I noticed that, man. It's really cool. Yeah, I love the phone, man. I've always had Galaxies. Like previously, I had a Galaxy 7 was my last phone. And I love the Galaxies. I'm not really an iPhone type of person. My wife has an iPhone, so we're on different teams. But, yeah, I love the Galaxy. I love the Note 9.
All right, guys. Watching VKTX as it gets hit right here in the 70s. I'm watching the volume, guys. I'm not paying attention to the small one. But the big orders, guys, I see big orders at 77, 76, and 18.95, guys. So I think there's a long put in this. That's why I'm keeping an eye on this stock, guys. I want this stock to reclaim these 80s and get back above VWAP. It can really start launching. Rejected that crash down again there at 73.
So Track Racer, I got the blue one. I got like the Midnight Blue, I think it was, or something like that. But yeah, I got the blue one.
Same one I got.
But I mean, I have a case on it just because the only thing I don't like about this is like on my Galaxy S7, I had one of those cases that just wrapped around the phone. You know, the entire phone was protected. Like I'm usually terrible with phones, and I actually kept that phone for 2 years without breaking it. The only thing I don't like about this one is the entire thing is the screen. I had to buy that smart glass, that safety glass.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And, you know, get a nice case put on. So I can't really see the color regardless, but that's the one I got. All right, here's a bounce up on NIO.
All right, guys. I'm going to be looking for an entry here on VKTX here, guys.
I'm going to look to add some here on NIO with a risk of a little bit tighter risk area of 20. So a little bit bigger risk, 5-cent risk. All right, so I just jumped in with another 100 shares, holding 200 at this point on NIO. Got a little bit tighter risk. It has to break that 810 level.
All right, guys. I want to see, there you go, VKTX, getting some volume there, guys. All right, I wanted to reject this last attempt to break down. And if the next candle closes and goes green, gets above this, I'm going to be looking to get in here on the long side, guys. If this crashes through there, guys, we'll be looking for a bounce up to VWAP for VWAP rejection. Here it goes for that attempt, guys, for that breakdown. It's hitting those 73s. Let's see what happens there, guys. See if it gets scooped up or it gets slammed down there, guys. There you go. It got slammed down there, guys. Slammed down. That's why I waited there, guys. I wanted to see this stock make a new high there, guys. It went to the resistance 3 times. Now coming back down. Let's see if it can get back through 86 or it's going to crash through that 68 again. If it gets some volume there at 68, it's just going to start heading back down.
Are you in VKTX?
No, I'm not in any way. I'm kind of still in the process of letting the stock play out. It's definitely in a point where if you were get in, you've been trapped for like the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
CGC is starting to look really nice in the weed stocks. I said that they were getting hit hard. Last time I said CRON, if it rejected 1240s, it was going to come back down. Perfect spot there, guys. It went right to 1239, got smacked down, back to the VWAP.
TLRY pulling back some. It's at 116 now.
Yeah, they all follow each other, guys. One of the key things that I've been learning about these stocks is understand. So usually if you look at the chart, you're going to find that the one that is at the top of the range is usually the better one to trade. So like CGC, and TLRY, you compare them. So you want to know the distance percentage to the VWAP. The one that's higher up, when you see the weakness, I would attack that one. CRON usually hangs closer to the VWAP than the other ones, and then the other ones are kind of approaching to VWAP now. Look at VKTX there, guys. Get hit hard there through those 60s.
Yeah, I'm watching that one too.
They got hit hard there, guys. I'm glad I used my patience in watching this stock and understanding levels and not getting in too early on a long side or not getting in too early on a downside on this stock. Just watching it play through.
All right, NIO is just kind of consolidating here. CRON is right around the VWAP. Kind of a slow day.
Yeah, not as much movement as I wanted.
I think realistically, I think Habib is going to take that AA. But I think Connor has a puncher's chance. I think Connor could take it as well. I'm not really rooting for either one. I guess I'm kind of secretly rooting for Habib, I guess, just because I kind of like to see people who claim to be unbeatable lose, but I guess you could go the other way with Habib in that regard as well. So really, I just want to see what happens. I'm a huge MMA fan. I love MMA. Been watching it for 10 years now or so. But yeah, really excited for that fight. Really excited. I don't know if anybody caught the card this weekend, but the card this weekend was pretty good. Little Nog actually got a knockout win over, who did he beat this weekend? It was cool to see. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm rooting for Habib as well. Tiny. Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for Habib as well, just secretly. Like I said, I don't really care who wins. I'm not like super invested in either fighter, in Habib or Connor. But I guess I'd like to see Connor lose a little bit, just because, you know. I mean, here's the thing: people hate Connor.
All right, guys. There's some momentum getting in AMRN, guys. It's probably bouncing to the VWAP here, guys.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
looking at AM already.
there's traders taking this on the long side to the VWAP, and that's why it gives it also momentum.
Because when
Is a
they get out,
strategy that takes it up there.
right, when they get out, it's going to squeeze it back down.
Yeah. Believe it or not, there's people that long this chart. I don't know how they do it, but
Yeah, no, Tim Sykes always preaches about the bounce after the panic, And
yeah.
I understand that to a certain extent, It's just our strategy is kind of the opposite. Not the opposite, but it takes advantage of the same move just in a different way.
Yeah, what the thing is also is that this move is very, very fast. This is not a trade that you could call out and people could get even close to mirroring. This is definitely a hotkey in and out kind of trade.
All right, there's 14 on NIO. Back down to 13. Look at this channel it's forming here. There's such a tight little risk area. But no, it's people hate on Connor. I think Connor's brilliant in the fact that he really knows how to make people hate him. Because when people hate him, they buy the fights anyway. And so I think Connor does really well with making people dislike him because he doesn't care if people buy it because they're a fan or they buy it because they dislike him. He just cares if people buy it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I will say this though: if Connor beats Khabib, I'll be a fan. Previously, I wasn't really ever a fan of Connor, but if he beats Khabib, he'll win me over as a fan. Just because Khabib, he's looked unbeatable, man. 26-0, kind of a crazy record for him. And so we'll see. But super excited for that fight. Yeah, I'm excited for Mousasi and Rory as well. That sounds like a good fight. I like Mousasi. I want Mousasi to take Rory. I just like the way Mousasi fights more. All right, here's a move to 815 on NIO. Up to 16. Little squeeze up here. Got to get careful. Be careful here. My risk level is going to be that 19 point, 20 point. Yeah, I do too. Tiny. I'll talk about that in a second. Let me focus on this trade.
CGC pushing back, guys. This 51 is going to be very important if it rejects it there, guys. Same thing for CRON above 1230s. It's trying to reverse right back to the long side.
If there's a squeeze up to 20. This is where I got to be really careful. Because it's over the VWAP at this point. If it gets to 21, I'm out. Ideally, like I said, I'd like to see a rejection here, obviously. I don't want to see that 18 level turn into support.
Hey, this is why you don't have stops, guys. CGC just does this little fake out through 51s just to stop anybody out that put a stop on that trade.
20, 21, I'm out. All right, so I just got out, $16 loss. Really tough day, honestly, in this market. There wasn't really much going on. And I didn't really see too many good fades, so $16 loss, small loss in the grand scheme of things. I took my shot with 200 shares, and it just didn't work out, so no worries. This is the first Monday I've lost in a long, long time. But no, what I was going to say is Shevchenko, I really don't like Joanna. I think Joanna is probably one of the worst champions we've had in a long, long time. She's just delusional in the fact that, you know, she didn't want to give, you know, she should have just given Rose her credit when she knocked her out. And then she lost, obviously, super obvious loss the second time. And so the fact that she tried to pretend like she won the second fight and that she still acted like she was the queen and yada, 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 I just didn't like that about her. I thought that was not very sportsmanlike. Yeah, I'm not that worried about it, Tony. Honestly, the market may be changing a little bit, you know. I don't expect.
Keeping a close eye, guys. Close eye, CRON and CGC here, guys.
But no, in the grand scheme of things, a $16 loss is tiny, you know, and that's fine. Like I said, market may be changing a little bit, or it might not even be that. I just didn't see any A plus setups. Insurance says John lost again. OMG, that means one loss out of what, 10? Oh, the world is over with. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, that hurts though. I do hate this drop right here on NIO, but it's just tough to trade. It wasn't an A plus setup, and so I mean, one I'm looking at AMRN, but it would have to get back up to 1050 for me to consider it. And it's a little bit too late, I think, for me to start trading stuff like that. And it may be just a little bit tough to trade in this market. Look at SCS though. SCS, low volume though, but it's been fading off the VWAP all morning. Yeah, I know. I mean, honestly, I'm getting better with losses. You know, I'm getting better with handling losses. You know, I just gotta keep telling myself, like, look, like I know I'm a good trader. Losses are gonna happen, and I can't let losses affect my confidence in the game. You know, because really,
definitely not.
You know, and like I said, there hasn't been that many A plus VWAP fade setups. I just haven't seen them as much. Even before I got in NIO, it was a B minus setup, and you know I took the trade just because I didn't see anything else, and that's why I took small sizing. But $16 loss is tiny. I just want to see more. You know, gap fills are always going to happen, so I always think the VWAP fade setup. I don't always think it's going to work, but I think it's going to stay reliable for a decent amount of time. Specifically though, like I said, whenever the stock is overextended on the upside and fades off the VWAP with good volume in the process. You know, NIO, I actually think it was a little extended on the downside, and you can see it just kind of faked me out. But that's fine. Like I said, I'm not that worried about it. I understand that the setups we use have an edge, but sometimes they're not going to be around. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're not going to see them every day, and that's okay too. But I have to either find another setup to trade on those days where I don't see any good fades, or I need to just stay out of the market. You know. And that's the biggest thing. Yeah, nice little VWAP projection on VKTX there, though. I mean, I'm looking at AMRN. I mean, it's getting pretty close to that 1050 level.
I think the wheat stocks are about to crash there. I thought it was a nice trade to take it up there at 51, but not really my strategy. Something that I got to more test out and start learning from. But I am looking at I here. I maybe for VWAP rejection. If I do take this stock, it'll be low share size. All right, guys, I took a little bit there, 2280s. 2280s there, guys, on I. Looking to add a little bit more.
Short or long?
Short.
It's really tempting to look at AMRN here if it gets up to 1050. Let me just look at my risk area. If it does get up to 1050, risk realistically is 1080s. Potential reward from 1050 down to 10. So not quite 2 to 1, about 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. Look at any PT though, maybe fading off the VWAP. Volume's low, but any PT doesn't look bad.
All right, guys. Looking at I here, and with 100 shares here. Risking off a 90 right now. I wanted to test here, guys. It's 100 shares position, risking $10 here, guys, but I'm looking for a bigger gain here, guys. Just got to watch this last attempt here, guys.
Track Racer said simple math, it's worth it, especially since I spoke to someone who actually took some big gains off the table and saw the payout on TradeNet. I was skeptical a little bit with payouts, but learned a lot about TradeNet this weekend. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just like I said, you're getting an extra $200 to lose, even if you pay full price for the intro package. So even if you pay $500 for the intro package, you're getting an extra $200 to lose. So you're paying $500 with the ability to lose $700. If you go through my link, and I'll go ahead and post that here, but if you go through my link, you're getting an extra $300. And so I'm going to post that link here. If anybody's interested in signing up to TradeNet, I do have a link that will get you 20% off the intro package. And so instead of $500, you're paying $399 for the intro package, only to the end of the month. The 20% off does expire at the end of this month, I believe. We do make a small commission from it, but if you want to help support this channel, you can go through our link, and we really appreciate it if you do. But yeah, biggest flaw with TradeNet is that some stocks are not tradable. Since I've been using TradeNet for about a year now, really, a little bit less than a year, probably about eight or 9 months. It's definitely worth it for me, even though some stocks aren't tradable. Majority of stocks are, most of the time. Some weeks are bad, like last week was pretty bad, but most weeks aren't like that. But like I said, if you want to go through our link, it's a 20% off link to the intro package, and I believe it's still 10% off the other packages. And so I still think you get other packages for 10% off through our link. But yeah, I mean, I like TradeNet. I've been using them for about 8 months now, 8 or 9 months. Really good fills. Really cheap commissions, a lot of shorts. Biggest flaw is some stocks aren't tradable, but that's okay. It's just something that it depends on the price of the stocks you trade. Yeah, man. I mean, it's just what works well for me, Track Racer. It's the time frame that works well for me. Anything realistically after 10:30, the volume's just so low that it's tough to trade. You know what I mean? It's just tough to trade. There's not that much volume in the market after that. And my setups and strategies mostly revolve around momentum. And so, it's just what works best for me. Let's look at my graph. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my graph on TraderView for the last week.
All right, guys, keeping a close eye here on I here, guys. Don't want it back above 85s, guys. Want it to fail.
Yeah, this was my last. I mean, this is my graph. Let's look at 90 days. This is my 30-day graph on TraderView. Let me snip this real quick. This is my 30-day graph on TraderView, and so I'm still up a decent amount in the last 30 days. It's just about getting over this little hurdle. I mean, this last week or two, I've been in a little slump, but I'm still a net profit trader in the last month or so. So it's just about getting over this little hurdle. Definitely need to be a little bit more patient and selective in this market. I haven't seen a lot of fades, and so I think I just need to be a little bit more selective and patient. But yeah, not a bad graph. I'm happy with it. Still a decent graph.
Looking to add here, guys. Looking to add here at 2280s. I got my order rejected there.
Right, for sure, man. For sure, man. There's lots of VWAP bounces in this market, and that's probably the next setup that I'm going to try to use. VWAP bounce, you got to be pretty quick, but I've seen a lot of them in this market, and so that's probably the next strategy that I'm going to look to get into. Is the VWAP bounce? It just works a large percentage of the time as well. Oh, I have a nice VWAP bounce on my chart. Yeah, look at that bounce right there. Yeah, this big drop is from Wednesday of last week. Just a brutal drop. Not last week, the week before. 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, I had this brutal drop right here. But I rebounded nicely, and so, I mean, that's the most important thing. The website I'm using to look that up, Masher, is TraderView. So it's TraderVue. It's TraderView. And it's free. TraderView's free, I think. I think there's different packages you can pay for, but that one's free. Yeah, no worries, Masher. Yeah, Mitch put me on TraderView. It's legit. A lot of cool data that you can look at.
Yeah, it's one of the most important things to look at, guys. You got to really understand how you're trading so that you can start maximizing on your execution.
No, Masher. So the way you export your data is you go down to trade, historical data, and you go to trades, and then you filter it and export it. You can only go back a week, and so you're going to have to add it week by week, but that's how you do it. You go down to trade under TEFs, historical data, and trades, and then you filter it and export it, and then you just go to TraderView and upload it.
All right, guys, trying to add here at 79 or 80. I didn't get my ad there, but I think this is gonna start tanking here. Looking for an ad at 2280. Willing to add up 300 shares. There it goes. It's starting to tank. Let's see if we get a bounce to get filled in here. I like my entry. Like how I watched that through. Could have got maybe an entry there at 81s. I hit it and it rejected for the short to add there at 81, 82s. But I like the way this is looking up on the chart. And if we can get below this, head to the 67, it's going to be looking really nice for us. There you go. Look at that. All right, guys, looking to add to this trade, guys. Not looking to take money from this trade. Looking to add here on this bounce here, guys. We're getting to the support. It's right there at 69. I'm expecting a bounce. I can take some at 2080, 2280, or near the VWAP. don't want to take it. If it gets to about 77, that's still a little bit low. Want 80 or 79.
Yeah, I do like CRMD for a bounce. I might take a little trade on Robinhood for CRMD. Looks like it's going to bounce off this 75-cent level. Yeah, so I just bought 100 shares of CRMD. See if that one will work a little bit. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not too extended, and so risk is relatively minimal with that one.
Yeah, Thinkorswim is slacking.
Yeah, I know, man. It's been acting weird today, bro. Look at NIO. There goes NIO back down to 810. I'm not mad I got out. It's just, it was too tricky. There wasn't that many good setups. CRMD looks, or NIO looks a little tough to trade in general. It's specifically for options and like stocks that aren't tradable on TEFs, Track Racer. Stocks that aren't tradable on TEFs, you know, I have to use Robinhood. I don't have another broker to use. SAEX also. It needs more volume. Too low right now. It's got like 1,000 shares traded a minute. So way too low.
Boom. Nailing down to the next support there, guys.
There you go.
Heading to 60s.
What's your share sizing?
100 shares.
Not bad.
All right, guys. We're going to have a little lesson today, guys. It's a fun one. You guys will laugh at this one. So I got to go take a piss. So I'm setting a nice stop.
No cursing, man. Come on, brother.
It's a piss.
Stop, man. Come on, dude. I'll mute you, bro. But yeah, we'll see if CRMD bounces.
All right, we're watching it right here.
Siri?
Maybe get an ad. In the 80s.
You dislike Robinhood? Why? I mean, I get it. Robinhood hasn't been the most reliable broker, I should say. You know what I mean?
Got to be careful here. There's a big ad there, guys. 162,000 shares went through there.
What's your price target?
I'm going down all the way to 56s if it's 100 shares.
Okay. I like that area. 56 is like the high of Friday. And so it looks good.
So what I was honestly thinking about adding there, but then that big share size went through there, guys, at 79. It just kind of, it puts a little iffiness in this trade.
Don't hold Mitch back. No, man, it's not that I'm holding Mitch back. I don't know. I'm super weary of my YouTube channel. Like, I don't want to give anybody any ammo, you know what I mean, to like get weird with the channel. And so that's why, you know, I try to be safe with it. But Mitch knows, man. Mitch and I have been working together for a long time, man. We're just working on being profitable. That's our most important goal. I slip up too sometimes. You know what I mean?
All right, guys. I'm setting an actual stop. I'll be right back.
All right, if it goes against you, I'll scream, you know. He's an I, John. Yeah, look at Thinkorswim right now. Look at Thinkorswim. It says it's at 810. It's actually at 806. Yeah, I mean, here's the Robinhood. I only deposit a small amount of money in Robinhood just because, you know, Robinhood's a free broker. I mean, it's great because it's free.
All right.
You made it. But no.
I'm back.
It's great because it's free, but I've seen Robinhood have some problems. Like, I've seen Robinhood completely crash for an entire day. And, you know, people
Oh,
were
look
stuck
at
in trades.
CRON, man.
Yeah, underneath the VWAP rejection.
Yeah, guys, talked about that. Since it's rejected from those 1240s, guys, it's going down all the way down to 12 here now.
Yeah, look at Thinkorswim. NIO at 804, 805, and it still says 810. So Thinkorswim's definitely acting a little weird.
Thinkorswim is definitely off today.
Yeah, it's just acting sketchy.
There you go, slam down. I wish I would have got my ad there, guys, but someone added really big there, and it could have pushed it through the VWAP. And I didn't want to add there and then watch it go to 83 and we have to get out immediately.
Yeah,
so I gave myself the chance for this big move more. So now I'm just looking for the next support, which is 59, 58. Then I think it can get down to 50, all the way down to 50. Could be the big move.
Hey, appreciate the sub, Nobert, Carl, Indy, Jeffrey. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry I haven't been keeping up with the chat as well. But appreciate the subs, guys. But yeah, look at NIO. It's all the way down to 803. And I mean, I'm not even disappointed that I got out of the trade. I guess I could have held to my original 825 level, but I decided to add sizing, and it just, it just didn't work out. Nothing to be too upset with. Biggest key lesson here, I have to wait for good setups. I know I said this last week, but I gotta be more patient with my setups. I gotta wait for good setups, and if I don't see any, it's nothing wrong with not trading.
100%, man. It shows more to not take a trade than just to take an undisciplined trade that's outside of your strategy that's just going to upset you in the long run.
Yep, it's going to mess with my confidence, and I need to understand that the truth is, if I wait for that exact VWAP fade setup, like if I wait for a big gapping up stock that has a big bearish trend at the open and then fades off the VWAP, that setup's going to work a huge percentage of the time. The problem is that whenever I'm streaming, especially streaming, whenever people are watching me, hundreds of people are watching me, it just gives me that pressure that I want to get into a trade. I want to give them something to watch. But sometimes there's just not going to be that many good setups. You know what I mean? And if there's not that many good setups, I can't force it because that's going to hurt my confidence. Like you can see by my graph. Like my graph is on point. Definitely running into a little triple top here, but at the highs. But I mean, this is because there hasn't been many good setups. And like if I wait for a good setup, I'm good. I've finished every week, a majority of the time, having at least more profitable days than I have losing days. The biggest problem, like I said, lies in the fact that there hasn't been that many good bearish trends and a lot of good VWAP fade setups in this market. Somebody key the Jeopardy music real quick,
Right?
Hey, CRMD pushing up. I'm up like a solid $3 on Robinhood.
Solid.
Nice, man. Look at this. 218. I'm balling right here, man.
Solid.
Right. Hey. $2 is $2, bro.
It's a learning trade, man. It's a learning trade.
Right. Yeah, it's that VWAP bounce. Realistically, though, I mean, this thing has already moved a large percentage of its range today, and so that $2 is probably a huge percentage of the range. If you look at Thinkorswim, like NIO on the 1 day, 1 minute, yeah, man. Today's just one of those days, man, with Thinkorswim.
That's all you can do.
I don't know if there's thousands watching me, Insurance. Insurance says there's thousands are watching you. Many don't always log in. I still think it would count as a viewer and still show up as a viewer even if they don't log in. But maybe you're right, man. That would be cool if you were right,
Just got to be careful with this position because if it does get above that 79, guys, with that big share size that went through there, we can get back above this and we getting faked out on the short side. When you think about it, I hasn't made a move to the short side completely until it closes below that support there at 2270. It did a wick down and not really closing down there. So what we want to do is we want to see this stock get below that again. Above 80s here, guys, it could get momentum. So I'm waiting and trying to get the profit target that I established earlier and not go ahead and chase this or just get out for a minimal gain. There we go. Looking like we might get a little down push now. It's at least hitting this resistance now.
Yeah, let's see if it cracks under 70. There you go.
Let's see if it makes it a resistance and slaps down.
I mean, this is down to 69 now.
Yep. There you go. Flip down.
7.
Wait, get in there.
Oh, you're sharing your screen. Sorry, I should have been sharing your screen.
You're good.
Okay. Here you go.
All right. Putting out an order here to cover there at 53. I put out the order. I think it's going to go through a little bit of 59. I could take 59 and just take $20 there. It's not a bad take, but I'm looking for a little bit more as I seen that big seller come in here. I'm thinking that this can start making some momentum down. All I need is 2270s to kind of hold here. If they can hold here and it rejects back down, it can really start moving down. This is another classic trade where I took too little sizing, so that's why I'm not able to take some profit here on the first support test.
Look at Cron, back up to the VWAP. I'm seeing a lot of VWAP rejections today too.
Hopefully we get this rejection here. All right, we got that rejection. Now let's see this momentum back down, see how far it can push here.
TLRY maybe fading off the VWAP there.
Yeah, guys, we might get squeezed out of this position. It really isn't trying to make a move here, guys. It's just in the in-between stage. Been seeing it attempt those 65s. Been trying to get to that support there at 58, but just bounced.
What's your risk?
Right now, it's pretty much break even. Shouldn't lose on this trade, guys. Shouldn't let it get back to 81s.
There it goes.
I could take an attempt reshort and get bigger sizing, but there's no point in this, guys, because the way that this stock is pivoting. If it pivots and gets above this, it can start pivoting, get to 90s, get above there. Next thing you know, you get squeezed out.
Honestly, I didn't even think the volume was that good today. Maybe it's just not good for shorts. Today was more of a long day, I think. There's 82s.
Yep. All right, now I'm looking at the time and sales, guys.
You gotta take your stop off if you.
No, it's not a stop to buy.
Oh, okay. It may get rejected here though.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold right off of this level right here, the 83, 84s. When it flips, it'll go to like 84 or 80, 83. All right, just gotta be careful here, guys.
There we go.
All right, it's looking better. Just need to see the full wash down now. There you go, 73s. Let's get this bid back to 69. There you go.
74s.
Bid back to 69, 70s. Back to the support. Now
72s.
let's see if it gets slammed there through 69.
There we go.
Slam down. 2,400 shares there at 69. People shorting it hard now. Let's see if it can come and get to this low 65, 64s. That's what we're going to look for to see if it can crash through there.
Hey, appreciate the sub, Nishimoto. Appreciate it, brother. Welcome, man.
Yeah, I got to get out of here soon. Got to get back to work. So
I know,
I'm going to let this stock make this move here. There's 67s there, guys.
I want to just give yourself a stop and maybe a trailing stop, you know.
Yeah, I can probably do that if I need to. If I see the stock just take down.
There's 67s.
I'm not really stressing it because it's such a small size position in the end.
Yeah, I mean, today, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel. I mean, it was a good long day in the market, you know, but it's been tough.
Yep.
I feel like to compensate for these little bitty losses I've been taking lately on my winning trades, I have to just hold them longer. I have to let them actually go to my profit target. If not, these little losses are
really the key.
Right.
It's like you're saying, it's the target. It's not about really holding them longer. It's about establishing that target.
Right. And it's you know, if I don't do that, these little losses are going to make it so that my account goes down. And, like, I'm a profitable trader. It's obvious I'm profitable, but I have to hold it to those profit levels. If not, you know what I mean? Like I said, those little losses are just going to take over the account and kind of take over everything.
Just gotta be calm here. That's what it's really about, guys. When you trade patiently, you trade a lot better. It's no need to go crazy.
Hey, nice job, Eric. 550 profit on a week-long hold. Nice work, brother. Yeah, the markets are down today, but they spiked up at the open, and so they weren't really good for fades. You know, like that's the biggest thing is, at least the stocks I was looking at, all the stocks on my watch list, most of them ended up running up at the open, except for ARWR, which never really gave us. I mean, at least in my opinion, it didn't give us a good entry. At least for what I look for. You know what I mean? And so most of the other stocks ended up pushing up a huge amount at the open and then coming back down. And I don't like that reliability. Like basically my strategy, the VWAP fade setup, is it's basically a gap fill strategy. And so unless the stock starts to fall at the open, I'm usually not going to take it. You know, unless it's like a big spike up and then a rejection or a fade. But yeah, man, I'm probably going to close the stream down soon, Mitch. It's almost 10:15, or it's 11:15, man. What's wrong, Corey? What happened, bro? I haven't heard from Corey in a while. What happened, Corey? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, Tiny. Oh, I completely forgot I was holding CRMD. It's about break even. Luckily, I'm in with 100 shares. I completely forgot I was holding this on Robinhood, but that's what 100 shares on a sub $1 stock will do. Hey, appreciate it, Masher.
All right, guys. I'm going to set a trailing stop on this stock and probably get on out of here, guys. There's no point in staying for the stock. It's not paying me out. It's not going either way, but I will let it go to my target if I can get it, or I will stop out, break even, guys.
Yep. Hey, I don't mind. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Right.
Yeah, a lot of times, guys, we could take this profit here, a $10 profit, but it's really not worth it. I'll explain why it's not worth it, guys. Break even on this trade, I just pay a commission of $3 or $6 on the in and out. But if I go and I let this trade actually get to its profit target, I'm going to be actually able to have a net profit day where I can actually increase my account versus as getting out here and just seeing a $4 increase. $4 increase to me it's going to be a lot better to go for that nice $20 increase to my account versus as taking a $6 hit to my account.
Yeah, I feel you. Somebody's asking, is it wise to long Siri for 1 week? I mean, I don't tell people whether or not to buy a stock. That's a liability issue. I don't want to tell people, like, I don't give anybody picks. Like, I'm not one of those people that give people picks. If people want to watch our trade, that's fine. I don't even really advise people piggybacking off of our trades. For one reason, there's a 30-second lag, and the other reason is you got to be independent as a trader. Plus, here's the biggest thing. The biggest reason why I don't really want to answer that is because I have no idea. I'm usually a very short-term day trader, and so I don't know what Siri's gonna do a day from now. I just try to react to what the market gives me. I really don't like to try to predict what it's gonna do longer term. And when I say longer term, I mean like over a day. But don't stress about it, Corey, brother. You'll bounce back, man.
Exactly. No stress, brother.
Yeah, brother. Don't worry about it, brother. You'll bounce back. Text me, man, if you need some help or you want to talk about it, bro. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I day trade live on stream every weekday morning, starting at 8:45 a.m. market time. Stream until about 10:15, 10:30. Let it go about an extra hour today. But yeah, I mean, Mitch and I were holding some longer term trades, so no stress. We'll see how Mitch does. Hopefully, this trade ends up working out for him. Also, guys, if you want to support this video and you want to help support this channel, click the like button right now in this video. I really appreciate the support if you do. So if you could do me a favor and click the like button, like I said, I really appreciate it. Mitch, you want to say anything, bro?
Nothing, man. Just keep working, guys. Keep studying and looking forward to some new additions and gonna bring it to you guys. Here to always increase value to you guys, so you guys can learn and get closer and closer to what you want, and that's to become a profitable trader.
100%, man. But yeah, good luck, guys. Biggest thing here is I gotta be selective tomorrow. You know, even if I don't see my setup, even if I don't see any A plus setups, I gotta just trade A plus setups. I've been in a little funk in the last week and a half, and so I think the market hasn't given me a good fade setup very often. And when I do find a good fade setup, I'm not holding it to my profit level. So that's the agenda for tomorrow. Good luck, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow, same time as always. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all later. Have a good day, guys.